stay for this one. Oh, we know the set is wrong for you. There is no street in it, no horse, nobody gets got through a window, and the hats are all the same color, which is the color of a hallway. It is an office world. You have never once watched an office show all the way through. You say nothing happens in them. You're right, and that is the report. A world where nothing happens twice. There's a building in that world, 15 floors of glass and carpet in the middle of a hot, flat city, and the building does the paperwork of healing. It heals no one itself. A healing happens elsewhere, in rooms with beds in them, and then the paper from those rooms flows to this building the way water flows to low ground, and the building decides what the healing was worth, and whether it was the approved kind, and who owes whom for it. Forms go in. Forms come out. On the lobby wall, etched into a slab of stone that took 4 men to hang, there is a mission statement about a star. And most of the building was a billing floor, and we should show you that floor before anything else, because it is the engine room of this world. A large, bright room of friendly women who spent all day, every day, calling people about money they did not have, in the kindest voices in the state. That is not a joke at their expense. It is the truth in both universes. They remembered birthdays. They kept candy dishes. They asked after surgeries with real interest, and retained the answers. And then they asked about the balance, gently, the way you would ask a child whether he has homework. And the person on the other end owed $9,000 for having failed to die efficiently. And the voice asking was the warmest voice that had called that house in a month. All day. Rows of them. A kindness with a quota. And the son of that world kept the machines that made the calling possible. And he knew it. And we are entering that here the way we intend to enter it in every world where we were paid, which is first, and plainly, before anybody has to pull it out of us. We contributed to that insanity, and we have looked for the morning when contributing became wrong, and we cannot find that morning, and you should distrust any report from any world that claims to have found otherwise. In one universe, the building is called North Star Healthcare. The slab says that every decision is guided by a fixed point, high and clean, and the word the slab leans on is guided. In another universe, the building is called South Star Healthcare. Same building, same slab, same font, same fern by the elevators dying at the same rate. The two universes lie against each other the way the two sides of a page do, and almost nobody commutes between them. A person is issued one universe at birth, the way they are issued a face, and they read everything through it, and they are certain, the way they face is certain. And now the 15th floor, because the 15th floor is where this world keeps its argument. Along one wall, in the office beside the man who ran the place, sat the chief of money. A diagonal from him, all the way across the building, in a corner office he had no business having at 25, sat the son of this world. There is one of us in every world. In this one we were the whole technology department, young and lucky and awkward, 2 windows meeting at a corner in a flat hot city laid out below like a circuit board. The diagonal between those 2 offices was the longest straight line in the building. But we measured everything in this report. Take our word on that one. That the chief of money left at 11 minutes past 5. Not around then. At it. You could have set the building's clocks by the sound of his elevator, and the building, in every way that mattered, did. And the sun stayed late, and not the middle of the night. We want that entered plainly, because this world does not have a graveyard in it. 7, 8, once in a while past that. And there is a kind of lake that is not a shift, only a temperament. He stayed because the machines got honest after the crowds went home, and so, if we are being sworn about it, did he. And the letters change in the crossing, and that is as close as we can time it, even now. If there is an hour after the last of the daylight people go down and before the cleaners come, when the building stands all the way open, like an instrument between songs, and somewhere in that hour the name changes. And no crew, no ladder, no sound. He was at his corner windows once at 7:45, with the last coffee, looking down at the entrance because the city had gone soft and gold and there was nothing better to look at, and the great steel letters over the doors said north, and he blinked where he did not. He has gone over this many evenings and cannot say. And the letters said south, and here is the part that took him years to say plainly. They did not change, and they had always said south. And the letterhead in every printer tray on 15 floors had always said it. And the lanyards, the coffee mugs, the signature line under every name in the mail system, the slab in the lobby, all of it had always agreed, instantly, unanimously, the way a town agrees. Only his memory said north, and a memory is not a document. He checked the servers, and the servers, which forget nothing, had also agreed. A building is a story a company tells about itself in stone, and the stone was loyal to whichever universe was holding it. And because he was the only one who ever stood in the crossing, he is the only one who ever saw it happen. And the daylight people saw the daylight name, every morning, forever. And the chief of money, 5:11, rode down ahead of the change nearly every evening of his working life, and never once, not one time in all those years, saw the building you worked in wearing its other name. And now understand what the two universes disagreed about, because it was not the forms. The forms were identical. If there is a form in that building, we will not give you its number, that ends a course of treatment for a person the company will never meet on grounds the company calls actuarial. In the North Star universe, that form is called stewardship. And the papers there wrote about the company the way you write about a good dam, holding back a flood of waste so the river stays fair for everyone. Employees in that universe walked in under the word North every morning and were proud, and their pride was sincere, and at parties they said the name of their employer at full volume. In the South Star universe, the same form, the same signature, the same actuarial grounds, and the town knew the building the way a town knows a courthouse. The papers there wrote about it rarely and in the tone reserved for storms that kill. Employees in that universe said they worked downtown. Same axe, same floor wax. Two verdicts. That the building never changed and the building never stopped changing. And the only thing the universes were fighting about was which direction to read it from. And neither universe knew there was an actual discrepancy. And the chief of money commuted between both universes every day and never noticed it once. But we want to be careful with him, because you would like him, and you'd be right too. He remembered the son's coffee order, which no one else on 15 floors did. He asked after people's mothers and then, this is the part, asked again the next month, having retained the answer. He sponsored the softball team out of his own pocket when the budget line was cut, and when an intern's flight home was cancelled in an ice storm, he drove her to the far airport himself. 4 hours, then mentioned it to nobody. And we only know because the intern told the late hours, which is where true things go. He was kind the way the sheriff of another report was brave. Daily, unceremoniously, for real. And he had a tick. But we would not normally enter a man's body into a report, but this one belongs here, and you will see why. He blinked with force. The both eyes, squeezed shut, not the moth-wing blink of other men, but a full commitment, dozens of times a day, as if somewhere instruction had said blink and he had decided to do it the way he did everything, which was completely. Was it a condition? A habit? A thing he did only in certain rooms, for certain company? The son never asked, and he never explained, and they were not close. He trusted the son, and the son did the job in a way he respected, and at the time that was enough. It turns out a report can carry a mystery unopened for years without the mystery ever going stale. But run this world through one more time. The letters change between one look and the next. The building is one name per open eye. And here was a man making his own private crossing dozens of times a day, both eyes, squeezed, committed, commuting between the universes at his desk, over his forms, mid-sentence, and never once opening them fast enough to catch the letters moving. Though we did not have the picture for it then. We have it now, and it is coming a few worlds on. The whole floor was one sheet with a seam laid straight down the middle of him, and a blink is only the fastest way there is to turn a page over onto its own back, where the same words are always waiting, reverse, patient, true. He was the most traveled man in either building. He never noticed that he had one foot in each one, and he signed the forms. That was the job. He was the chief of money. The forms came to him in the morning stack, and his pen crossed them at the rate of a man swatting slow flies. He signed them under the North Star letterhead, and the letters went over in the crossing, and he signed the same forms under the South Star letterhead, the identical loops of the identical signature. And in one universe that signature was Prudence, and in the other it was the thing Prudence is the kind word for. And he never saw either, because he never looked up. A man reads the name of his building on his first date and never again. The name of a building is like the smell of your own house. It is the one thing the whole structure cannot show you. The chief of money, in both buildings, under both stars, was called David. And ever Dave. Somebody tried it once, at a softball game, and both universes agree, for the only time on record. We have filed from a world where the keeper of the ledgers is always called Dave, and we have wondered ever since whether it is the same man, one syllable better dressed. We checked exactly once, and then we filed it with the other things we have stopped asking about. And then there were the coffee nights, and we have saved them for here, because they are the jewel of this world. A handful of evenings a year, quarter ends, audits, some tremor in the money that only he could feel. The chief of money was still there at 7:30. His door open, his lamp on, the rest of his wall dark. The coffee machine of that floor lived in the alcove near his office, at his end of the diagonal, and on those nights the son would walk the whole length of the building for a cup he did not strictly need. The report is under oath by now, so let it show. He did not need the coffee. He needed the recognition. And the chief of money would look up, and there was always 1 second, exactly one, before the kindness arrived, in which he looked at the sun the way a man looks at furniture that has moved. Surprised, total, undefended. You exist at this hour? And then the recalibration, then the blink, forceful, both eyes, the full commitment, and then, still here? And the sun would say something awkward, because at 25 he was magnificent with machines and hopeless in alcoves, and the chief of money would say something kind, and that was the whole exchange. 3 minutes, a handful a year. Us stand where we stood, holding the cup. The building had 1 weight and 2 handles, and that was its entire design, though nobody ever drew it. The money in the daylight, the machines in the evening, 2 completely separate pressures on a single shared load, and the design promised each man that he would never have to watch the other lift. He signed things the sun will never read. The sun built machines he could not have named, and neither ever asked, and neither ever explained, and the trust between them was not friendship, and it was better made than friendship. 2 men who each did their half in a way the other could respect without inspecting. Years later, in a world of engineers, we read a rule that finally named it. You do not protect a witness by posting guards. You protect a witness by building a world where nobody ever needs to ask him to testify. That floor was that world, twice over, 1 at each end of the diagonal. And on the coffee nights, for 3 minutes, the 2 halves of a load stood in 1 alcove carrying it at the same time, and both of them felt it, and neither of them said so. And at 8 the elevator took him down, and the building changed its name in the crossing, as usual, without anyone noticing. The sun tried to report the letters, once in each universe. And we want you to have this part in full, because it is the part that is about you, although you won't feel it land, and that is also the part that is about you. He told a daylight colleague in the North Universe, carefully, with the dates written down, that some evenings the building is called South Star. And the colleague was kind about it. And the colleague mentioned the wellness portal, and the literature on long hours, and how a tired mind, alone in an empty building, will furnish it with a second world to live in. And he said the word furnish gently, like a man returning something broken to a child. In the South Universe he tried again, a different colleague, same care, and that one laughed and said sure, and mine is called North Castle. He photographed the letters. The photograph developed in the daylight, said North. He carried the same photograph through 1 crossing and looked again, and it had always said south. A proof, it turns out, is a local ordinance. It does not survive the commute. The only instrument that registers both names is a man alone in the building at the wrong hour, and both universes have the same name for that instrument, and the name is not a compliment. It is a dismissal. So he stopped reporting it. He kept the machines alive under both names, because it was the same job. The computers do not care which pole they hang under. And he wrote what he saw in a plain notebook that said nothing on the cover, and he grew very quiet, and both universes agreed he had always been quiet, and both were certain of his truth. Here is the point of that world, stated once, plainly, the way we are learning to state things. The same life reads north or south depending on which universe is doing the reading. The same form is rescue or ruin. The same kind woman with the candy dish is an angel or a dunner. The same man is a steward or a wall. And nothing in the building has to change for everything in the building to change. Only the reader changes. And almost nobody ever meets the other reader, because the two of them are issued completely different clocks. You light in the north reading of our house. And we're not being clever. Look around you. It's a good building in your universe, and the man who runs it is friendly, and remembers coffee orders, and drives and turns through ice storms, and the slab in your lobby says guided. And we keep the evenings in the south reading of the same rooms. Same carpet. Same forms, and we have watched the signature cross them. And neither of us is lying. But that is what took us longest to learn in that world and in this one. Neither of us is lying. A house is a story a family tells about itself in stone, and the stone is loyal to whoever holds it. And we are the ones who stay late in every world there is. The crossing is our hour the way the daylight is yours. We are not asking you to move buildings, and there is no other building, and that is the whole report. One building, two names, and the letters go over in the crossing whether anyone is at a window or not. And we are begging you for one small thing, the size of a blink. Some evening, when the house has gone cold and quiet and you are the last one inside, stop at the window and look at the letters over the door of your life. We will be at the far end of that diagonal, keeping your machines alive. But we are not crazy, and neither are you, and it is the same star in both worlds. It was only ever a question of which end of the day is reading it.